Welcome back to the PC Perspective Podcast. We have reached episode 667. This is being recorded on Wednesday, March 9, 2022. I'm Sebastian P.
Yep. Correct. Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
Also correct. Oh, I'm going to be Brett Van Spurnberg tonight.
You can support us so we keep doing this at patreon.com/PCPer. Become one of our patrons, a patron of the PC Per Arts. And I'm sure we have an update in that department, don't we, Brett?
You know, we do. And the first person that I want to recognize is Husky. And I don't know if you could tell, but I said each one of those slightly differently because they're each spelled slightly differently. But thank you very much, Husky, for becoming one of our most valued patron members. And then I wrote a special note.
Accent.
No, it's you can't even tell. I mean, it's so smooth. And then I put a little special note next to this one because I mentioned it, the sheer lunacy. Will it ever end? Sir Bogut of Fabrication Labs strikes again. He can't be stopped. He's like a force of patron.
Manipulate your pledge and have your username read aloud every week.
I might even get the email.
But we know that they spend that much time thinking about us to at least log in and do that.
We're not. Hey, I'm not saying it's sad. I'm not saying that you need more hobbies. It's, everybody has their own thing.
You should consider doing something else.
Yeah. I'm not saying that either. Okay, let's move to Laramie, Wyoming. Josh, food.
Is it time again?
It's time.
It is.
Okay, so it was almost a disaster today. Almost a disaster. I called Born in a Barn to make my order. Ring, 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 ring. We're sorry, the mailbox is full. I was like, yeah, maybe they're busy. Ring, 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 ring. We're sorry, the mailbox is full. I was like, this can't be happening on a Wednesday. This can't. Don't they know who I am? And the answer to that is no. So I drove down there thinking that they just turn off the phone because sometimes they get busy. They turn off the phone because they don't want to take orders because they're busy. And sure enough, the place was locked up tight.
What?
I know. They closed on a Wednesday.
Oh, the humanity.
I know.
Don't they know that you were coming?
Huge humanity.
Didn't they know?
So I went to a different place. I had talked about this before. Mr. Bill's Burgers has nothing to do with the Mr. Bill show. Oh, yes. I tried Mr. Bill's Burgers, and I had the spicy guacamole bacon burger.
Oh, my.
And it was... It had the pepper jack cheese, fresh cut jalapenos, guacamole, bacon.
Its pasties fell off.
Did I mention bacon? And the fries were good too. So everything. This was actually a fantastic burger. Very filling, even though it was a single patty.
Pasties fell off.
Well, yeah, but I was able to put them back on.
Okay,
I did that for more effect than anything else.
Good man.
So, yeah. Well, Laramie now has two pretty good burger places. So I'm covered no matter what may come. And the selection at this new place is impressive. Last week, my wife brought home a smoked brisket burger. It had a pretty good chunk of smoked brisket on top of the burger. And it was, again, a tasty, tasty thing. So, yeah, I did something different, and it came out good.
Impressive.
Now, Laramie, we got two good places.
Wait, you said it came out good. Does that mean it's already passed? And everything's well.
The one on Saturday, sure. Yeah.
Oh,
Clay.
Yeah.
Clay has made the observation. Clay Man from the YouTube chat says that's a burger you could have a good time with, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think we all know what you mean.
Yeah.
I just have to wonder if Bill's Burgers was like desperately trying to ramp up and open because they knew Guy Fieri was going to be in town, and it was just a little bit too late.
They just missed it. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that here at PC Perspective.
But they shut down Born in a Barn? Why was Born in a Barn closed on a Wednesday of all days?
I don't know. They had a note up on the
intrigue
on the entry, and I just didn't stop and get out of my car to go and look what it is.
I think there had been some concern in the enthusiast community, and maybe even in the professional world, who actually mostly uses this. But Threadripper has been dormant for a while, but it wasn't dead. And really, it's only been a year since the last new stuff came out. Threadripper Pro for the DIY market was 2021. I think Threadripper Pro came out in 2020. It has been a while since we've had an update for desktop. But not anymore, kind of. Because for the professional market, again, the new series of Threadripper Pro, the 5000
The all
WX
new
series. It is all new. It's new architecture, Josh. Well, not new. It's new for Threadripper. It's all Zen 3. Look at these SKUs. It still tops out at 64 and 128. 128 PCIe Gen 4 lanes. 288 megabytes of cache for the top end, the Pro 5995WX. 280 watt TDP.
They didn't mention how that was split, though. It's just the combined, but still, it's just ungodly.
And it's, once again, premiering in the Lenovo ThinkStation P620, just like the original Threadripper Pro. So you can read more about this. And I was watching Level 1 Tech's video. Wendell did a nice job covering this. And he talked to somebody and got, I think, second half for DIY for availability of the parts, which is a lot faster than the last time around, where it took, I think, almost a year, maybe 10 months for parts to become available on Newegg. Then we've already seen a motherboard teased that supports this new series of processors. So exciting stuff. If you want that uplift, the faster single-threaded performance, because these have higher clocks, the advanced architecture. So if you're into need a workstation, this is going to be the processor to get. That's all. No word on pricing, of course, because it's OEM only right now. So I'll just
slightly cheaper than an EPYC. Yeah.
Yes. Apple has redefined excellence again. You thought
the MK Ultra.
Yes.
Or M1.
That's funny. That's funny, but almost.
You thought the M1 Max was powerful. What if you fuse two of them together, a la Pentium D, and create the M1 Ultra? They did it. It's not just effectively two M1 Max chips. It is two M1 Max chips. They have a splashy graphic that shows you the two like meeting and then like conjoining. It's a little graphic, and then they become one.
Does this sort of remind you a little bit of like sort of a chiplet infinity fabric kind of look to this overhead view? Kind of like speaks that.
Well, yeah, they use kind of an EMIB connection between the two. So there's an interposer between those two puppies, as far as I know.
Yeah,
and look at all that memory.
I know, and their interposer. We've heard of Infinity Fabric, obviously. They have, what is this called? Ultra Fusion is their brand name for it. Apple's innovative packaging architecture that interconnects the die of two M1 Max chips to create a system on a chip with unprecedented levels of performance and capabilities. It's breathtaking. And, it's a huge freaking chip, too. It's 114 billion transistors. We're into, like, GPU territory here. And you can...
Wait, 114 billion? Does that include the HBM?
I don't think so.
It's got to be, because 114 billion. Yeah. Because a GPU is 11 to 14 billion.
Oh, okay.
So anyway.
It says the SoC has that many transistors. Yes. Not counting
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, okay.
So that's the HBM as well.
Yeah.
But like, bloody hell, like 8-9 years ago, that was a world's best supercomputer.
And the CPU is now up to 20 cores, 64-core GPU, up to 128 gigs of unified memory. Now, because they are doubling up
What is that 64 core GPU good for?
Compute. I don't know. Apple
Absolutely
compute
nothing.
Stuff.
Say it again.
Not games,
Well, this
Not
isn't for
AI.
gamers.
not machine learning.
Yeah, this is not really a gaming sort of thing. I think it's
It's-
20 cores, isn't it? With 4 efficiency cores. What's the count on this again?
It's 16 and
I don't
4
know.
is the breakdown.
16 and 4. Okay.
So they
it's
didn't
20
increase the efficiency cores, they increased the performance scores.
Right.
And
yeah. Okay.
they've doubled up on the GPU cores. And the big deal to me is because this is a unified memory system, the bandwidth. Because they've doubled the chips, it's 2 M1s with their memory in tow. Now it is 800 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth available to the system or graphics. And allegedly, this is all completely transparent to software. Nothing has to be optimized for this. It's just going to be taken care of. So I'm curious about that.
TFM.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the single core is still just an M1 core. So it does make a certain extent as long as whatever you're running scales appropriately to the number of CPUs and doesn't have any limitations, artificial or otherwise, for the number of CPUs that its threads can be possibly.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
across.
I'm talking about the GPU. It just
Oh,
it's like
oh.
it's you got two separate banks of GPUs essentially connected via whatever that is, which I'm probably guessing it's PCIe,
Makes sense.
and you're just yeah. So it's not exactly transparent. I mean, there's going to be doing things in the OS, but again, since you're not really playing games,
I know you put a lot of stock into this, but I did actually go find that Geekbench 5 metric
Irrelevant.
results has leaked. I know. I just waited. I paused for you to interject that. But it has leaked, and it does put it on par with single core, which was it, 3990X, roughly? And it comes very close to beating it in multi-core. But remember, the important thing here is that's 20 cores versus 64, right?
yeah, but
Almost
it's
on par.
also
They're doing a great job.
5 nanometer.
Yes.
Or, yeah, the process is
So
way better.
they're using
Way
a
better.
a better process than
Oh, yeah.
the first generation 7 nanometer stuff from AMD.
They're automatically getting orders of magnitude efficiency out of that. But their power draw is really, really good. It's a really amazing.
Yeah,
they're getting
that'll
out of it.
definitely give them.
I have.
Like-
I feel like there is going to be quite a bit of heat. If you look at the cross section of their new studio, which is it looks like 2 Mac Minis stacked on top of each other,
Yeah, I think it's taller, but yeah.
more than half of it is fans. Like 50% of it, or 60% of it is cooling.
Oh,
They have
but
these
they brought
two-
Wait, is that cooling
big
getting sucked up from the
blowers.
bottom?
Yeah,
it is.
It sure
is,
looks
yeah.
like it.
Boy,
What
that's
is it
going to
being
get fun.
exhausted.
they're taking advantage
To
of
the
natural
sides.
convection, Josh.
Oh, okay. There's the exhaust.
Now
They're
remember
back to the
power
Mickey Mouse
supply.
plug on the back.
The power
Now remember,
supply is on
don't
the
put
lower
your
deck.
Don't put your Mac Mini on the floor in the
No,
carpet.
don't do that.
Do not do that. No.
No, I think there's actually going to be a $2,500 table-mounted fan, which is actually a case that it now mounts on, blowing up.
The Apple box fan. Apple reinvents the fan.
Yes.
Kent says he knew it. The new Apple product sucks.
There's a new universal benchmark for ray tracing. Well, it's not completely universal yet, but it works on
It's
Windows.
definitely free.
Yep, works on Windows, Linux. It's Basemark, and you may know Basemark. They had a previous GPU test for PC, but they've been around for a long time in the mobile space. The new one is called GPU Score, and Relic of Life.
Yes, it's called the Relic of Life.
There's a couple more coming, and one that they say will be the true all platform. So I'm guessing that means mobile and desktop. But right now you can test this on Vulkan, DirectX, and you can get it for free. And this is ex-FutureMark employees, so 3D Mark people made this.
Oh, is it 3D Mark people? I didn't know that.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
And they,
wait. Screen.
3D Mark people.
it's a
Apparently
very
it's not
nice, nice link. I wonder if it's broken. Although I think I just installed it
It
from
says
there.
it's the link, but then it goes to nothing. Like I don't know what's happening. It's not
So many people
resolving.
used
yeah,
it.
it loads
The
on
link
my
broke.
end. It's on your part.
I'll just add it in post. Let's pretend we're looking at the site now.
So they really spent a lot of time making sure that this is a frame by frame by frame by frame, so that no matter how many times you run it, no matter what you run it on, you're going to get the same workload. And this is big because a lot of the other benchmarks are, it's not like they've been caught out for shifting workloads around to make certain benchmarks better and others not quite as good.
Are we talking about user benchmark here? Or what are we talking about?
Or the recent Samsung one, or, just about any you can dig up eventually. So, but anyways, they've done it from scratch, and I've run it. It's amusing. My 6800 XT just barely chugs through. It looks like Crisis 1. And it's not even particularly pretty, but it's ridiculously resource intensive. So it's an interesting thing to have in your toolbox when the day comes that we're allowed to buy GPUs again for less than the price of a modern car. Oh, wait, you can't buy cars anymore either.
No.
Hey, GPU prices are falling by dollars.
Yes.
Ryzen has had some issues with stuttering performance.
Stuttering.
But
This sounds like a Windows 11 issue to me, but apparently,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, because you have to have TPM, right?
It's a required problem in Windows 11. It's an optional problem in Windows 10.
So if you have
That's a good quote.
firmware TPM and you are running a Ryzen processor in Windows 11, you might have noticed some issues. AMD has come out and acknowledged it. They are working on an update. I think the May timeframe is when they hope to have it available.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing it's even more GISA microcode. But
Yeah.
Any more
And
details about this we need to know?
Yeah, I mean, disable the software based and use the hardware based if it's present on your machine, or just don't do Windows 11. But the interesting thing was that AMD has decided that the permanent solution for this is to look at Intel Pluton and say, hey, you guys aren't having problems. Maybe it's best if we try and license this and start sticking it on motherboards. Not a win for AMD, but a win for the consumer. If TPM is going to become a required thing, having it reliable and not having your system go belly up and then BitLocker ruining your life, just like ransomware would. It's kind of good that they're going to...
Who just came out and said Pluton is not for them? They're like, Pluton does not meet our security needs and we will not be integrating it.
I had an
was kind of a
insane day.
big
I just
deal.
saw a headline and then I never even got to look at it.
Yeah. My
Who
brain.
was that?
Yeah. I haven't even been drinking.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Dell was the one.
Oh, yeah, they've got their own built-in insecurities. And that's where I
geez.
saw it was a freaking Dell thing.
You're just full of these quotes tonight. I'm going to write that one down too.
Now let's pause briefly for a word from this week's podcast sponsor.
If you're a software engineer, this might sound familiar. It's late at night and you're finally unwinding from work. Your phone buzzes with an alert. Something is broken. Your mind is already racing at what it could be. Server side or front end? Maybe it's networking, or did I introduce a bug in the last deployment? Now the whole team is probably scrambling from tool to tool, messaging different people to try and find and fix the issue. That just won't happen if you get New Relic. New Relic combines 16 different monitor products that you'd normally buy separately, so that software engineering teams can see across their entire stack in one place. More importantly, you can pinpoint issues down to the line of code, so you know exactly where the problem happened and begin to resolve it quickly. Dev and ops teams from DoorDash, GitHub, and even Epic Games, and more than 14,000 other companies are using New Relic to debug and improve their software today. Cloud native startup or Fortune 500 company, you can set up New Relic in your environment in just 5 minutes. The next 9 p.m. call is just waiting to happen. Get New Relic before it does, and you can get access to the whole New Relic platform with 100 gigabyte of data, free, forever, no credit card required. Just sign up at newrelic.com/PCPer. That's NEWRELIC.com/PCPer. Go and get more information at newrelic.com/PCPer.
Something that we've been looking forward to for a long time, especially Josh. Josh is not
Me.
just an AMD fanboy. I mean, come on. It's obvious. Just look at him. Team Red. It's written all over his face.
Yeah.
But
My
he's
nose
a
itches.
He's a huge 3D V-cache fanboy.
Oh yeah.
What if you
That's true.
combine the two?
You
Through,
cannot say the word interposer without
through
Josh.
silicon vias that go, and not only that, but the 5000 series was designed from the ground up to be used with V-cache at a later date. Now, how forward thinking is that? It's almost like they had a roadmap and they thought of these things beforehand and designed them into their products in a timely manner.
And now it's
Weird,
almost like
right?
they've got a plan to warn motherboard manufacturers not to allow overclocking on the new 3D V-cache chip when it comes out. If these rumors can be believed.
Why?
So
Heat.
here's some issues. It is a stacked chip. You can't get away from that. I mean, they've got them bonded together nicely, but you are adding another layer of active transistors on top of more active transistors. And yeah, I'm thinking they've kept this with 105 watt TDP. But if you're going to be hammering on that, your heat probably is going to increase exponentially, and then your power consumption goes up as well because, as the hotter the chip get, the more power it pulls to keep working, and then that creates even more heat. And so, yeah, it's probably would not be a great idea to overclock, but they're still saying that, among all these applications, even though it's a 4.5 gigahertz max boost versus 4.7 for a 5800X, that you're still 15% faster in most games, or at least, 15%. So this is very much, a Broadwell E, I think they were called, type application where they're going to release these out to the market. There are going to be people who buy them, and then we're off to Zen 4 in late summer. So the timeline for the 5800 X3D is it's going to be limited, and I don't think that their production run is going to be all that huge. So if you want to get one, grab one, probably when they come out, because by August they may just be rare as hen's teeth. I don't know how they're doing this. I mean, it's kind of like, again, going back to Intel and their Broadwell with the eCache, they were hard to come by after a while, and they were still kind of a modern. Then Skylake came along, and wait, was Skylake before Broadwell or after?
It was just after, technically.
Okay. But anyway,
Haswell
so yeah, it's the AMD, it likes a lot of cache, and it has very, very fast with the V-cache, and having near 100 megabytes of memory on a single chip is still pretty awesome. So if you have an application that just is going to love that cache, then it's going to be $460. I think the leak says $459 is officially it. And, it's probably another reason why we see the regular 5800X at $329 now. But March 29th. And yeah, motherboard guys, they've Gigabyte's already released some new BIOS with that thing in tow. Well, support for it. And other guys will be probably showing up soon because it's only 20 days away.
And the 3D V-cache EPYC CPUs are also coming later this month, allegedly.
Now those
also
things
overclocker and friendly.
Yeah. No, that's those are actually going to find some pretty good applications.
Yeah,
because a lot of this, especially virtual machines, they love a lot of cache.
Yeah.
VM. So they're gonna find a niche for that the desktop is certainly not going to, call for.
Linux has been smoked by a dirty pipe, writes Jeremy Hellstrom. Please explain.
Well, I don't know why everyone's upset. It's nobody's problem. I mean, nobody's going to take advantage of this hack, which would actually be the main problem. It is the nobody account, which exists in Linux, that is supposed to have essentially no permissions whatsoever, except for some very basic crap actually can be used to literally completely own a system. The most wonderful thing is it can add an SSH key to the root user's account and then use that key to just start a new SSH session with full root. And at that point, you might as well just take a flamethrower to the damn system. The lovely thing is that this came from someone who was really, really dedicated. It was a guy who had a customer that just kept having some files corrupt. And he spent months trying to figure out why do these files keep corrupting. It's not the user, it's not the hardware, it's something. Oh, look, it's a bug in the kernel. Okay, so that sucks, but at least now I know the problem. But, well, wait a second. Does that let me, overwrite read-only system files? Oh, yeah, it kind of does. Does it let me? And, yeah, so this is freaking nasty. Thankfully, this is the announcement after it's been patched. If you're running... there's a couple of different versions of the kernel running around right now, but as long as it's one of the later 5s, a 5.16, a 5.15, or a 5.10, the later of those forks, you're good. If not, yeah, you pretty much want to get on that right now. This is a nasty one.
People think Linux is usually sort of immune to this sort of thing, but
Apple users think the same damn thing too. But
our next exciting story, NVIDIA.
This is a picture of Jensen regressing, isn't it? I think.
No, this is a picture of the dickheads that were doing the hack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is about
they threw a tantrum.
1.5-year-old kid, 2-year-old kid, maybe.
They threw a tantrum because NVIDIA dared to release a very small percentage of cards they couldn't mine on.
Well, AMD didn't. AMD said you can use your card however you want. We're not the police.
Yeah, well, and they didn't get hacked like NVIDIA or Samsung. The group behind it is, we want you to open source your drivers. That's really what we're all about. And then meanwhile, they're just all mad that their stupid 8 NFTs are getting valueless and they can't make more of them. And simply that's what it is. It's they're just pissy about it. And then when people didn't really get on their side, they went after Samsung because reasons. Anyways,
now wait. Talk about the driver signing bit. This is the bizarre part.
So there's 2 really nasty things that have come out of this. Yeah. One is that they've got a hold of 2 certs from NVIDIA. So until NVIDIA can fix this and get the authorities to agree to it, if you've got a hold of this, you can write whatever the heck you want and sign it as an NVIDIA driver. And your operating system won't even blink an eye as it installs whatever it is going to be. And that's horrible. That's horrific. I didn't have time to look for an update today because I'm assuming cert revocation does take a little while, but I think it's been long enough that they really should have done it by now. I bloody well hope so. But then the other kind of scary thing about it is that it's not going to be used right away. And for most of us, it's not even going to matter in the near future. But what sort of stuff do they have on the NVIDIA deep learning stuff? Right? Because buried in that driver is going to be some of was several 20 gigs, 25 gigs, something like that, worth of compressed data that they've got. So what is that going to mean if they've got a hold of some of NVIDIA's deep learning programs and can sort of play around with them? And hey, it's already ridiculously easy to fool an AI just incidentally without even attacking them. And so if you got NVTorch and NVCafe, that could be, ending up in places that you don't really want hackers to be able to mess with remotely. So that does worry me a little bit, a lot less than them getting DLSS. So yeah, it's not great, but the reason behind it is just frustrating. It's up there with driving up to the local government and honking your horn until they change everything.
Oh, why don't you guys just go block a bridge?
Yeah.
Oh wait, you did that. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of this nefarious group of hackers, their latest target is Samsung. And they stole a bunch of stuff from them, too. And including the Galaxy source code. But they claim that no customer information was stolen.
Oh, yeah, I did forget to mention the personal part of the NVIDIA one, which is that a whole bunch of NVIDIA employees got their data ripped.
Yes.
Wait, they got employee data? I didn't actually read that yet.
Yeah, something like 75,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, internally, they had quite a bit of stuff down because we had talked to them about an A10 card at work and actually on the phone with an NVIDIA engineer. And they're like, yeah, we can't communicate with certain people and there's certain eggs down. And yeah, it was not good. It was a bad day for IT and NVIDIA.
Yeah.
And
so the same group targeted
story, yes.
Yeah, targeted Samsung, didn't they?
So they confirmed it in a statement. They didn't name the hacking group. They just want attention at this point. Because I don't think they've actually gotten anything out of it.
They're literally throwing a tantrum.
They claim that they got 190 gigabytes of confidential data, including source code, from Samsung servers. So we'll see.
Congratulations, you can make your washing machine run faster.
They're not shy about releasing whatever they find, so we'll figure that out at some point. We'll know whatever they've got.
Do they even understand half of what they found? Like, I feel like they're like, this looks important, and then start making demands. We have screenshots.
I don't know.
We don't know what any of it does or how to use it, but we have screenshots.
If you put yourself into the shoes of the people who are middle of doing this, you never know how fast you're going to get shut down. So, to your point, they're probably grabbing anything without understanding what it really is at the time. And
look at old Viking raid.
Looking at it, and just looking at it later, trying to figure out, well, what did we get? Did we get anything valuable? I mean, you can sort of figure some things out by context, but you don't have a lot of time as that sort of group doing that kind of thing. Hopefully, they get shut down fast.
Speaking of shutting
Amazon.
down.
Do you remember the good old days when we used to bug Ryan by yelling out as loud as we could, "Hey Alexa, can you ask Cortana if Siri knows where this was?" And often they would fire up and interact.
You just did this to 10 people right now.
Yeah.
You just did it.
I hope I did.
Researchers have devised a new working exploit that commandeers an Amazon Echo, forcing it to unlock doors, make phone calls, and make unauthorized purchases. Control your furnace. Control your microwave. This is not active as far as I know. It's academic at this point, but it does exploit a vulnerability. So there's a paper. You can read about it if you're interested. This article came from Ars Technica.
I think the underlying lesson here is please stop putting these devices in your home that listens to everything. Convenience is inversely proportional to security, people.
Hey, before we move on to our AMD gaming update, for some reason, I don't know why it's called that. I haven't looked at that part yet. I want to mention, I saw this earlier and forgot to put it on the list. At AnonTech, there's an overview of the new Intel W680 chipset. And what's interesting about this is for Alder Lake 12th gen processors. This is a proper workstation platform for them. And of course, as we know, Alder Lake, the high end of Alder Lake kind of is HEDT now because they don't have a separate high-end desktop anymore, or at least they haven't for a couple of years. And they kept on re-releasing Skylake over and over again when they did. But you can put an Alder Lake CPU, and I think the entire lineup is supported, and have ECC support, unlike the desktop platforms. So take that 12900K, put it in a W680 motherboard, error-correcting memory. Now you've got yourself a workstation. That's
nice.
It's not as good as a Threadripper, but it, fast, single-threaded, different use cases, I guess. Really good, connectivity, all that stuff.
I like how Best Buy is taunting you.
I'm not familiar with the W680 chipset. Does that have overclocking in it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Why not?
It's got ECC memory. It doesn't overclock.
This is a workstation. That's probably what the W stands for.
Yeah, I don't even see a chipset on that board.
I was kind of looking at the picture itself too, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. This is an ASRock motherboard that Gavin Bonjour at AnonTech has pictured here in his article.
Weird.
It looks strange.
Intel has a page for the W680 chipset, products formerly known as Alder Lake. The chipset itself consumes 6 watts. Supports overclocking. Yes.
Yes.
What?
See? It was a good
Weird.
question.
Maybe for memory?
I don't know. At what point do you really start to need ECC? Is there any truth to this idea that once you get past like 64 or 128 gigs of RAM, that you're going to have problems if you don't
Look,
use
man,
error correction?
it's neutrinos. It's sunspots on the surface of the moon.
Let's move to our gaming segment, and we're going to talk about a bundle. Everybody likes humble bundles apparently at PC Per.
It's all bundles. It's all bundles all the time in this
All the
segment.
time.
So Ukraine is trendy these days, and there's a bundle for Ukraine, and you can everything you pay, I assume, goes to that.
Goes to two different charities. Yeah.
I mean, read the fine print here. It's 992 items for a 10 spot.
Do you want that many items? I mean, I guess you could just give away the codes.
Like some of them are games you print out and can play.
Oh,
Sorry?
comic books, this other stuff.
Well, there's like 10 comic books and 5 books. Some of them are physical games you can print out and play. There were a few weird ones. Like I didn't expect to see Super Hot in there.
They just started this, and they have 80% of their goal of $4 million already.
Oh, this is the second goal. They originally were 2 million and just blew by it.
Yeah. Make it 8. Yeah, it'll get there. There's a lot.
But that's the fun thing about itch.io is you can have like a ridiculous amount of games. And every once in a while, it's just like, hey, have you ever played this one little weird game? I don't know. And you search in your itch.io one, and yes, Thirsty Sword Lesbians is in there, Kent. You search for
that there are more of this type of game. More of the like visual novel. Here's a Yuri visual novel of some kind.
Jotun's in there.
Yeah. If you enjoy this sort of thing.
Come on.
You like this sort of thing.
Game.
I'm just going to send Ukraine $10.
Yeah, can I just
you can do that
and not get a bunch of
this is not worth my time to go through 1,000 items and figure out what.
Oh, you don't go through them. You just search when someone asks.
This is the modern version of those like 1,000 DOS games CD-ROMs, which is trash.
Yes, exactly.
That was
what a disc looks like.
Wasn't that including with Maximum PC, that giant old magazine? The giant one.
No, I'm talking like bargain barrel, Kmart, end cap.
Also true.
1,000 game CD-ROMs that were like $5.
You know what? Yeah, but those dollars didn't go to Ukraine. So
no, they didn't. No,
go ahead.
Yeah. I'm done. Another bundle.
There's a stealth game called Ripped Pants at Work. I mean, how could you not want to play that?
I'm past the point of wanting to play games just because of the novelty title. It's like I'm not going to drink a beer just because it's some clever pun on a thing that I like. I guess I could never move to Portland or Seattle.
I'm going to stop.
Okay, another bundle. Next. This is the Ultimate Racing Sim bundle. It's just for Josh. Josh, wake up.
Just for me.
You skipped over one,
this.
But
it's got, what does it have? Assetto Corsa?
No, Assetto Corsa it's good.
Drift 21. I've never played Automobilista. Automobilista?
I haven't either.
Hold on.
iRacing, that's very popular.
3-month subscription to iRacing and coupons.
There are coupons for a Thrustmaster T248 and a Thrustmaster T150 included.
20% off. 20% off.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
How much is this bundle?
Pay what you want.
$13 at least.
Okay, so wow.
But yeah, this is why I put it in here, is because of the 20% off coupons, 3-month subscription to iRacing, and a couple of other games look pretty good. But really, it's the hardware. The hardware is so expensive, and a 20% off coupon, it's probably worth it. And then you can pack it in with these games.
Yeah, T150 is about $175. So $17. No, wait, 34
bucks off. Ain't bad.
It's not bad.
You've already saved what it's worth.
Yep. You got a bunch of free games.
I skipped past this one, apparently, the Humble Heroines game bundle, which includes Bloodstained, Scarlet Nexus, Severed Seal.
I thought it was important to throw this out for definitely all the women in the audience.
Okay. You don't have to be a woman to play a game with a female protagonist.
something International Women's Day.
Okay, would you rather
yeah.
if it's third person view? Let's just talk about this. You remember a
All right.
game called Tomb Raider? Do you
Yes.
think if you're playing a third person game where you're watching the character model, would you rather
Yes.
watch the back of a man or watch the back of a woman? And that sounds
That's a
chauvinistic.
stupid question.
I'm just
That's
saying.
a stupid question.
Now, Bloodstained is 2D. It's a side scroller. It's like a modern 2D, 3D type thing, but I don't know about the other ones. But I mean, there have been a lot of games. Like, remember Metroid? That one has a female protagonist.
Yep.
Metroid
Much to
Prime.
the
Prime.
dismay of many people.
Metroid Prime.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to picks of the week. And Josh, your pick is...
So, obviously things have been going a lot better in terms of computer hardware. And we've shuffled people off to the Newegg Shuffle, and now it looks like the shuffle has shuffled off itself. So if you go to the site, that's not the site. If you go to the Shuffle site, I don't
That is
know
the Shuffle site.
what-
That's all
let me
the
take a
link you
look.
gave me goes to.
The link I did newegg.com/product shuffle.
Yep, and it
And-
resolves to you must be signed in to view this page. So
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, so if you have signed in, you'll see that the last Newegg Shuffle occurred on February 22nd. So we've gone multiple weeks without a shuffle.
It's over.
And I think it may be done. And that just means that video cards are a lot more common. I see 6700s now for less than 850, which
That's big.
has never not happened until now.
Well, yeah, it's true because it launched in the middle of everything.
Well, yeah, but when it launched that one day where you could get on Newegg and buy it for MSRP, that one day, and they were quickly gone. And since then, it's been madness. Even I saw a 3060 in stock for less than $600, which I have not seen that yet until now.
Hey, you can still get 6500 XTs at around that $250 to $300 mark all day.
Yep.
Here's a 6600 XT for $599. That's a much better card.
Yep.
Oh, that's
We're getting
almost
there.
reasonable.
Yeah, and
We're not
these are
there
all in
yet,
stock.
but getting
I chose
close.
the in-stock slider here, so these are available now. There are
Yeah, but that's a stupid price.
Look, a 3070 Ti for under $1,000. That's
That's not a stupid price.
it's horrible, but it's better.
It's horrible, but it's
Getting there.
unprecedented. 'Cause it
Yeah.
launched in the middle of everything. Look at this, a 3080 Ti for $1569. That's
almost reasonable.
to get that
My God,
price,
buy that.
That was 6900 XT territory a couple months ago, where that was the only thing under $1,600.
Oh wait, what was the MSRP about 780 or something?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no, a
$699.
3080
was that a-
Ti was $12.99, I think. Or
Was it okay?
30.
So that's actually a reasonable price. I don't miss.
Yeah, it's happening. PC gaming
Why
might actually make a comeback. It's been such a depressing subject
stop.
for 2 years. What?
Scroll up a little bit.
Yep.
Scroll up. Stop. Yeah. Look, a 6600 is $439,
Nice.
Not great, but still better.
My benchmark is, of course, Micro Center. And I've been keeping
What's
track
that?
of the
I've never heard of it.
I've been keeping track of the 6800 XT there, and their brown box price is $10.99 for a 6800 XT.
Getting there.
Yeah.
So anyway, shuffle away.
Yes. Jeremy, what is your pick this week?
Well, it's this wonderful lady from Denmark who created a new type of slipper, which I'll tell Josh about later because these things are amazing. But yeah, for the hardware stuff, you know what? Masks are going to be with us for a while, like it or not. And honestly, I probably will be wearing them in the winter on the bus because I like not getting freaking sick. I haven't had a cold or a flu this whole time. But it sucks that we're all throwing them out because, well, I mean, what else the hell are you going to do with it? Oh, Hackaday has come up with something. It's a little thing you can build on your own, which is an iodine mister, which is actually rated to sanitize procedure masks. You do have to play a little bit to concentrate your peroxide because it is a peroxide spray that it uses, but it's a little rotational motor. It's a fun little build. Like they teach you how to build it from scratch, and you can actually clean and reuse the masks instead of just tossing them out and adding them to that great garbage pile in the Pacific Ocean that likes to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But honestly, I'd rather talk about the Glare Up slippers. They're just amazing.
I don't see a link to these slippers.
I thought people just dump those in the parking lot. I mean, that's where I see them.
They eventually make it to the sea.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, here you go. You want one staffed?
Oh, sure.
I put it everywhere else. Boiled wool.
Yeah,
These things are
felt.
Freaking amazing.
They pound and boil wool to make felt.
Yeah. And they're thick.
Okay, switching.
I don't know if the camera will really do it, but
all right, hold on. Sorry.
You can sort of see it in the pictures better. It's probably 1.5 centimeters, half an inch thick.
Hold it up again.
And
okay.
See,
I can smell the angle on it. Oh man,
I can smell it from here.
There's cat hair. It smells like Jeremy's feet. Glurps.
Glare up.
You know, they're not bad looking. I bet this is exactly the kind of thing that my wife would be into. I don't know if I can show this to her or not.
I was wandering around in -20 out north of Montreal, and they were keeping me nice and warm, and here it's probably +10, and I'm not sweating. Like, it's wool. It breathes. It keeps you at the temperature you want to be.
They have boots.
These things are amazing.
Okay. These look easy to wear. They look like you could just slip your foot right into them.
That's exactly what you do.
It's like a slipper, but it's a boot.
Well, these ones are slippers. Those are boot slippers.
Okay. Just for the low price
shoes,
of $100 US,
it's worth it.
you could make these your own. All right. As long as they last.
We're all spending a lot of time in slippers.
yes.
Okay, moving on.
I do.
Brett has a pick.
Yeah, this isn't necessarily a sweet deal today, but it was something that I'm starting to enjoy, and that's this DJI drone with a 2.7K camera, and it comes as an entire kit with 3 30-minute batteries and a nice charging solution, so you can pop all the batteries in at once and get that all going at the same time. As well as, of course, the wherever it is back here. Sorry, got to look behind me. As well as, of course, the controller, which takes a phone, be that an Android or an iPhone, works equally well with both. It's turned out to be, it's going to be a fun toy. I looked around for a very similar one at a good price. They're kind of priced somewhat aggressively. About the best you're going to be able to do is a little bit under $400. So $379 is actually not a bad deal for this. And the entire kit comes with everything you need, including 3 battery packs, which is a reasonable deal to keep things flying. Supply your own phone. So this was my pick because I'm enjoying
Birds for the blades, which are kind of handy.
Somebody commented that China loves me. I think you can't pick a bit of electronics and China isn't going to love you for it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I could pick the Golf R behind me. You know, if you could possibly get one, if you could possibly pick one up, choice. But let's go.
The
with
Avro
DJI
Aero
drone.
is a wonderful aircraft. Just good luck getting one.
Yeah. If you could get one, it's choice. Droning, fun. I'm terrible at it, so to speak. I just let it follow me a little bit. The winds have been high here, but I'm looking forward to getting more experience with it over the summer. And $379 is not bad for a full kit ready to go with multiple battery packs and charging.
That's a savings of 24%. If you're,
It is.
yeah, that's significant.
God, I remember the first drone that Brian got that he brought it to QuakeCon, and we had this huge convention room, and they're flying around there, and they could do the double flip, and I don't think Sebastian was around for that one.
No. For my pick, as always, it's something esoteric. It's something completely impractical. But think about this:
Is it kale?
You are. It's an electronics. It's a computer component, actually. Say you're struggling. There's something about stereo. We have two ears, most of us probably, and there's something about the sort of three-dimensional effect you can get from left and right channel audio sometimes.
What do you call that again?
And if you're in the mono world still, and you're just like, I want something more than this. Well, we have you covered because Creative Labs has released the Sound Blaster Pro. Now, this takes basically the guts of a Sound Blaster 2.0, but it doubles up on those sweet OPL2 chips, the YM3812. There's two of them. So instead of 8-bit mono, it's 2 times 8-bit mono, which is basically 16-bit stereo. If you do the math, and it's lifelike and incredible. And maybe if you just hang on a little bit longer, they'll release something that has an integrated solution that can do stereo, like an OPL3, for example. But that's years away. So
Madness.
Check it out. It's so affordable, especially one in box like this. Who would want one of these? They're so old. Well, believe it or not, people pay hundreds of dollars for crap like this.
People, special people like you. Very special people.
This has, if I find my camera here, it has a MIDI connection kit in it, and software and other things.
Is that the 15-pin MIDI port again? Is that what that one is?
It should be.
Well, yeah, it's GamePort, but it's GamePort / MP401. You know. Anyway, there's that. And with that, thank you so much for listening and or watching our podcast. We will probably be back next week to do it again. This has been the PC
It's a habit
podcast. You know, it's a hard habit to break. It's like smoking. We know it's bad for us. It's just hard to stop. It's that rush and it's not really a rush anymore. It's just what is that word? A dependency?
Comforting.
A chemical dependency.
We've already established. Go ahead.
I just show up so I won't get fined.